By the end of this class, or by the end of this section, participants will transparency and performance. Then understand and leverage AI, automation, and emerging technologies for efficiency and innovation in public sector operations. Demonstrate cybersecurity awareness and knowledge of safeguard and optimize organizational process, and then apply leadership principles for successful digital transformation, including change management, innovation culture, and workforce digital upskilling. All of the things we've been learning since this course began, they are all interwoven to create complete and whole knowledge and whole learning experience for everyone. From the first class on foundations of strategic leadership, we looked at different frameworks for strategic leadership. And even when we moved on to systems thinking and strategic problem solving framework, we also looked at additional frameworks. And then this morning, we other frameworks added to it. Now, all of these frameworks and all of these tools provided are to guide us in driving initiatives, driving transformation initiatives, driving strategic initiatives, and also bringing them to successful conclusions or successful completions. So with this in view, like I said, as a leader, a strategic leader, you cannot really run in this era without good knowledge, and not just good knowledge, but practical knowledge of digital expectations as a leader. By that, it simply means that we need to keep up to the pace of the changes that are consistently evolving. We've looked at the VUCA and the extended VUCA-D, and then we've looked at PEST2, PEST, SWOT. All of these things are to help us keep abreast and stay ahead with whatever change might come our way. All right. Now, by introduction, the world is changing fast. Technology is transforming how governments deliver services and how citizens engage. And this is not just Nigeria. This is a global thing. Okay, this is a global thing. Digital transformation, DT, is no longer optional. It is now a strategic enterprise-wide journey to improve efficiency, transparency, and impact. Now, let's look at digital transformation leadership and leadership mindset. In digital transformation, we say it's a strategic enterprise-wide change effort, leveraging technology to improve processes, services, and outcomes. Strategic enterprise-wide change effort, leveraging technology to improve processes, services, and outcomes. The last class we dealt with, or the last session we dealt with before we went on break, was leading change. Leading change, all right? Okay, now we have the leadership mindset for digital transformation. The first mindset is the mindset of innovation. We must challenge the status quo. We must take bold decisions that will guarantee the future that we are looking at. That we must have agility, ability to respond fast and flexibly to changes. We must play with agility. And then we must also play with data-driven decision making. We don't just make decisions, but we must have sufficient data to make decisions, to take decisions. So our mindset when it comes to leadership in digital transformation, we must think innovation, we must almost embrace innovation, we must embrace agile management technologies and agile management frameworks and agile methodologies in leading change. And then, of course, we must be data-driven in our decision making. And this is also one of the reasons we're encouraging everyone to be part of the conference that'll be coming up December 2nd to 4th, because the theme of the conference is navigating complexities and digital transformation. So we're going to have a whole lot of agile frameworks, agile methodologies to be discussing within those 3 days of that conference. And like I said earlier, for those that are going for the certificate, you don't need to pay for the conference. So the conference is a free access to you, and it's going to be a great opportunity for us to come together. For those of us in Abuja, yes, it will be a great time to see ourselves and also network, build, and integrate into the larger community of professionals, and then have a great time. Now, why does digital transformation matter in Nigeria, especially in government? For number one, enhanced service delivery, promoting transparency and accountability, enabling data-driven decision-making, improving citizen engagement and satisfaction, driving efficiency and cost savings, supporting innovation and modernization, and then strengthening security and compliance. These are the things we expect to have when digital transformation gets to be on the large scale. Since the flag of FCIP, I personally have been involved in facilitation of a number of workshops that has to do with digital transformation, from federal federal airport something, what's that? What's the full meaning of FAN again? Federal okay, Federal Airport Authority. See, federal airport or federal thing. So I've been involved in their trainings as regards to digital transformation. I've been involved in the head of service training of directorate level officers from ADs to directors on the concept of digital transformation. I've been involved in the training of people from raw materials, Research Development Council. I've been involved in training at the National Boundaries Commission. I've been involved in training at, is it NAIC? NAIC, National Agricultural Insurance Corporation, something like that. So I've been involved in a number of places providing training around digital transformation. And one thing I can say for free is that even if it has not become so obvious in your own MDA, just know that the water is flowing and very soon it will get your own. Last year, one of our fellows who happens to be a director at Federal Ministry of FMSD, is it still development? I think it's still development. No, it's not still solid minerals. He works with solid minerals, not still. He works with solid minerals at Wuse 2. I had a chat with him in his office, and he told me something. He said their department was responsible for launching a particular app that was going to guide investors on solid mineral investment in Nigeria. So if you have access to that app, you enter that their website, you get to know everything you need to know. Every process had been digitalized for them, both the public, both the national and the international investors in solid minerals in Nigeria. And that was flagged off last year. So they were one of the pilot ministries that were used for digital transformation projects. And there are a number of other MDAs that are also in the pilot phase of the digital transformation. So even if it has not reached your organization yet, it will certainly reach your organization. And it might not have reached your organization directly, but I believe every one of us in the federal civil service, you are automatically now under IPPIS. Okay, so that is part of the digitalization effort. As of February 9th, 2024, when we had the privilege of providing training to the head of service, one of the directors said, as of the time we're having that training, they've digitalized over 1 million records, 1 million records of civil servants, 1 million records. So what it means that they are trying to have a system, a civil service record system, that when you key in somebody's phone number or email or employment number and all of that, it can bring out the person's record in a brief. And we'll also see the Ministry of Health and Social Welfare working on similar project of digitalizing the entire health record of every single Nigerian. Okay, and then we also see people like NIMC who have been vested with that responsibility of digitalizing national identity for every Nigerian. And we see INEC doing the same thing. We see Zero Safety Now or VIO, the people responsible for driver's license. Recently, I read on the paper that there was another modification they were going to do on their digital systems to make the whole process better, faster, and easily accessible. So if it has not gotten to yours yet, just calm down. It will soon get to you. All right. All right. And when we get all these things in place, then it becomes an easy way for us to run the government. One of the things we are clamoring for, all of us are clamoring for, is transparency. So if anybody is not clamoring for transparency, that means there is something you're hiding, not in the cupboard now, you're hiding it on top of the cupboard. And I asked the question yesterday. I said, why is it that we can have a digital platform that can have a real-time record, a real-time progress of how national budget is being spent? Why must we have to wait for a month or thereabout? Then the whole calculation is compiled and put in a PDF. Then we get to the debt management office, or we'll get to budget office, their website, and then we'll download. So there could be human interferences happening within there. But one thing we are very sure of as we progress is very soon these things that we are talking about that look like they might never happen, they will surely happen, because we've already seen the possibilities with pilot schemes currently ongoing. Okay, recently we had the CAC, Corporate Affairs Commission, that have completely digitalized its whole process using artificial intelligence. So now with artificial intelligence, you can log into CAC website and do everything you need to do there without having to contact any lawyer, any doctor, any secretary, and what have you. Okay, so this whole process is ongoing. And of course, there are many other digital platforms that government have set up that we might not all be aware of. Okay, I never knew that you can verify your driver's license until, and I never knew you could do online driver's license renewal until I think it was early this year. I felt like, why do I need to be passing through the stress of driver's license? There must be a way that they've done this. And I went to the internet and started searching. Then I found out that, oh, you can actually verify your driver's license, and then you can also apply for renewal right from online. And what they are saying it now is they want to digitalize the whole process. You apply online, and then you do, if your record, since your record is already with them, they can process within 24 hours and you get your driver's license delivered to you. These are possibilities that the digital transformation is bringing. Okay, is bringing to each and every ministry, department, and agency across, as well as the private sector. So if yours has not fully materialized, just have it at the back of your mind that it will definitely materialize. Now, what's the relevance to the Nigerian public sector? The relevance will have the modernization under the FCIP 25, the Federal Civil Service Strategy and Implementation Plan 25. So there is more, there will be modernization, and then advancement of e-government reforms, enhancing service delivery mandates for citizens. Like I said, there are many portals that have been developed, but due to lack of sufficient awareness, okay, we've not been able to know. Okay, so for people like NAPTIP, I believe they have platforms that allow for quick reports or quick feedback or people giving them complaints and all of that. But maybe we need to have more awareness. people like the Nigerian police, I'm sure they have, there is this particular radio station I used to listen to. Then I can't remember their name, but the Nigerian police had a sport. I think it was every Thursday or thereabout. So they call it, is it Eagles Watch or something? I've forgotten the name of that program that Nigerian police used to have on that particular platform. Now, one of the days, was it last year, they introduced an app. Is it eyewitness something? Okay. That app was to help in reporting crime, having eyewitness reports of crime. And if you have any emergency, you can through that app report and all of that. So that app is meant to sound like the Nigeria's 911 emergency response app. Okay, but not everybody might be aware. So there is need for us at the leadership level that when we create when we digitalize some of our services, digitalize some of our products, we also have to create that strong communication system to get the people to be aware. Okay, to get the people to be aware. One of the ministries that I like what they do, or Ministry of Industry, most of when you come up, you see the adverts online of what they are doing, the platforms they are bringing in. When they were bringing a particular app that was going to deal with trade harmonization across Africa, that app, they did that ad for a period for those people that were into export and import. To be in a conference at the Villa that was organized by the Nigerian Export Promotion Council, and more of the issues that were raised, the app that they built was able to address that. That conference held, I think it was on October. By February 2025, we started seeing some implementation through digitalization of some of those things that were mentioned as concerns. Okay, so with digital transformation, we'll be able to have enhanced service delivery for all citizens. Okay, but we need to make sure that there is strong awareness. Okay, strong awareness. I know and I sincerely believe that across all the MDAs, there are many initiatives, many products and services you want the public to enjoy, want the citizens to enjoy, but most citizens are not aware because there is no campaign, there is no communication going in that direction. And like I said yesterday, strategically, as strategic leaders, we need to find ways to make those awareness, to make those campaigns a reality. Okay, to make those campaigns a reality. All right, these things are very, very important, because if we have all those beautiful initiatives and they are just hanging around the ministry, they're hanging around the department, they're hanging around the agencies, then there will be no need for it. We'd have spent a whole lot of money with all the research and all of the development. But since the people are not aware, the services are just lying low. Okay. Now, examples in Nigeria for digital transformation have the NIMC for online enrollment and verification for faster citizen identification. They will have the IPPIS, Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, which is a digital payroll for federal employees, eliminating ghost workers and ensuring timely payment. Okay, I know why I just laughed at that IPPIS. Yes, IPPIS is doing great, but one of the mandates of IPPIS is to eliminate ghost workers. But at this point, we cannot categorically say we've eliminated all. Okay, but one thing we can say is that ghost workers have reduced. Okay, but we cannot say we've eliminated all. Okay, because there are some workers that might not be enlisted in the IPPIS. Okay, for example, the cleaners who we say they are meant to be on contract, and all of that. So there is still some loopholes that we need to fix. Okay, but for the main staff, I believe a good number of them, if not all, are already on IPPIS. Then you have the CAC, that the online company registration and filings, streamlining business incorporation and compliance through their e-services. And one of the interesting things that they've done with their e-service is that they incorporated artificial intelligence. So the whole process can be done without any single human interference. Okay, the whole process of business registration can be done without human interference. Although I think that process is still available to, or just available to, business name registration and limited liability companies. They've not moved it for limited by guarantees and limited by trustees. And then for government incorporations, I'm not sure they've gotten to that point yet. But we know that the highest volume of businesses in Nigeria are sole proprietorship businesses, partnership businesses, and limited liability companies, limited liabilities. So for them to have done that, I think they deserve kudos. They have the first Inland Revenue Service, which now is Nigerian Revenue Service. Their e-tax system, Tax Promas app, okay, that helps both individuals and businesses to file their tax and all of that, and also make payments. They have the National Health Insurance Scheme and the e-health initiatives. And then you have the Open Government Nigeria and service apps. There are many of them. Some of the digital portals are for citizen complaints, for requests for information access. But because there is no much awareness, okay, there is no much awareness on these things, they are just lying low. Okay, they are just lying low. All right. Okay. Now, as a strategic leader, what would be your top digital transformation skills that you'll be needing? Number one, you need digital mindset and strategic thinking, which this course has settled. Data literacy and evidence-based decision making, technology awareness and platform thinking, change leadership and culture transformation, which this course is also dealing with, agile and innovation capabilities, which this course is dealing with, customer-centric service design, cybersecurity, and digital risk management. In August, I was privileged to speak at the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management. I was taking a section on cybersecurity for human resource professionals. And a retiree, she happened to be a retired director, and she came to me after the class. She said, why is it that more of the people that are gullible to hacking attacks or cyber frauds, the people that have been the most victim are retirees, or those who are on the verge of retirement? And the answer was, why it might not look simple, but it's just simple. Most of the hackers understand that in the era we are, some of the people at the retirement age, they are not digitally savvy. They don't yet understand how the cyber world works. So they leverage on their ignorance. First, they can hack into any MDA system to know who is leaving the system. In your system, you don't have money to pay, so your payment is with IPPIS. So IPPIS might have a stronger cyber security framework, but at the level of ministry website, at the level of what do you call it, departmental websites or agency website, it might not be as strong as of IPPIS. So records of staff can easily be accessed. Okay, records of staff can easily be accessed. And most often, even when we are doing this digital transformation process, and this is why this class is very important, when we are doing this process, some of the people who are operating the technical domain of these things, they leave some information just open to the internet. Okay, just open to the internet. All right. And what this means is that somebody can go and upload information of all the staff available. Maybe we want to create about us. Okay, so they have information of the top management staff about us. Now, the person taking the information only wanted to take information about your name, your position, but why they were trying to put on the data, they collected your email, they collected your phone number, and maybe they collected your date of birth and some sensitive information. And when they were uploading it from the back end, they didn't remember to remove it and make it, or maybe make it private instead of public. So somebody can just be surfing through the internet, searching for vulnerable information about a particular organization, and then boom, it will be open. And they were asking, how did it occur? It occurred because it was there. And then sometimes you notice that we have website updates, we have apps updates. So even in our ministries, department, and agencies, and in the private sector, when we do updates, it is good we keep the backup file that we use to update. Is either we delete it completely from the web so that it will not be accessible, or we keep it private so that it will not be accessible. Sometimes we will only route the website to the new updated website, but as it were, the old website is still existing somewhere. The old database is still existing somewhere because it was not cleaned. The whole process was not cleaned. We only had just to reroute. So cybersecurity is a very big risk, or cybersecurity, if absent, is a very big risk. I think it was from the GenAI class, the digital transformation and GenAI class, that somebody sent newspaper bulletins and all of that. A particular organization, hacker group that is perceived to be from China, is launching a cyber attack, and their target is majorly the government institutions. Okay, their target is majorly government institutions. Let me give you typical examples of some of these things that have happened. Okay, during the time of election, if you can remember vividly, when the INEC chairman was speaking, he said they've received, I can't place it now, but the attacks that they were receiving from their website, especially from that database containing the uploaded, I think they call it CRV portal, something like that. The attacks they were receiving on that particular website that hosted the voters' information, the voters' record, was all-time high. It was reading in millions. But good enough, they had good cybersecurity framework, so the people weren't able to penetrate. Okay, and then you remember during NSAS, that some public records that were meant to be private were excavated by cyber hackers and then made available to the public. You remember those things? Those are just some little experiences as regards to cybersecurity. And then you remember sometimes this year, we had that report of a hacking attempt at NIMSI's portal that carted away massive data of over 1 terabyte. Was it 1 terabyte or 10 terabyte of data? All the data of Nigerians were captured by hackers. Although NIMSI came out and said that was not true, but we saw the reports online. The people that did the attack published certain sensitive information to prove to you that yes, they had that, they got what they say they got. Okay, and let me tell you something. In this current digital era that we are, anybody that has access to your BVN has access to your NIM ID or your NIN, your national identity number, the person can wreck you. He can loot everything you have without your consent. You don't need any permission. However, we are sorry for that break. Now, our advocacy is that MDAs should take the matter of digital security very seriously. Cyber security, and not just MDAs, including um, including the private sector. Okay. Uh, in 20, there is this started. Flutter had more financial highest rate, was more financially robust system. 2003-2004, over, was it 15 billion? Question is how much is with these matters. We're advocating for cybersecurity awareness, cybersecurity points. Just is not secured. Okay. Please, I need to confirm that you're still with me. If you can hear me loud and clear, kindly 1 in the chat. If you can hear me loud and please 1 in the chat. If you can hear me loud, please. If you can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me loud and clear, kindly type. I think the net So much apologies. I was thrown off and I've been trying to come back, and the network has been so terrible. My sincere apologies. No matter what happens, we will close this class at the right time. Thank you so much for your patience and for having to understand the situation. So let's get back to the class. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for your understanding and your patience. Thank you. Please, I would like to confirm that you can hear me now. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, please kindly type 1 in the chat room. If you can hear me loud and clear, all right. Thank you so much. I one more time apologize for that network challenge. I will try to run up right now. So we were discussing on the matters of cybersecurity awareness, and I was trying to establish that every one of us, especially now that we are the leadership across our different organizations, must take cybersecurity very seriously, and also provide sufficient training for our staff on matters of cyber security. Many a times, just one person, that's the irony of this. One person's error, one person's mistake, one person's loophole can affect everybody. And I was trying to say something using the WhatsApp group. If a WhatsApp group, if one person's phone number is compromised in a WhatsApp group, that hacker has access to all the phone numbers in that group. By default, you will have access to the phone numbers, have access to the contacts, and that's why when hackers penetrate through a loophole to a WhatsApp group, they now begin to send multiple messages to individuals in that group. Okay, so we need to pay attention to those, even the little securities, from our WhatsApp to our Facebook to our LinkedIn to our phone security. Okay, we need to put up those small security so that we don't keep ourselves vulnerable. Okay, and we don't allow hackers to steal information from us and from organizations. Then another digital skills that leaders need to have is the governance, policy, and compliance knowledge. So in Nigeria, we have the Nigerian Data Protection Regulatory Act, or Nigerian Data Protection Act, and the agency is the Nigerian Data Protection Regulatory Agency. Is it regulatory agency or commission? NDPRA or NDPRC. So we also need to have sufficient trainings and capacity building in matters of data privacy, compliance frameworks for data regulation, and all of that. Then there is need for collaboration, communication, and stakeholder management. We need to have that skill. Then financial acumen for diverse digital investments. We also need to have that acumen. Emotional intelligence for digital leadership. We've discussed emotional intelligence today. Then project and portfolio management. I sincerely encourage every one person living on the planet Earth, a career person, a leader. My single advice most often is, if you've not done project management, then you need to do it. And I'm not talking about attending a project management workshop where they just define project management and that's all. I'm talking of real-time project management classes. You have good understanding of project management principles, project management frameworks, project management methodologies, and then also understand the emerging technologies around project management. Okay, because the truth is we are surrounded by projects. Every MDA is filled with projects, either internal projects or constituency projects or contracts and many others. Okay, so we need to have project management skills in place. Now, how do we craft and align a digital strategy? Important to know that digital transformation means becoming digital, not just using digital tools. So there are two different things. You can be using digital tools and not be digital. Okay, before the introduction of FCIP, all of us have been using phones, all of us have been using the internet, but we've not integrated the digital process or the digitalization phenomenon in our organizational processes. So we were digital, or we were using digital tools, but we were not digital in our processes. Okay, then we have the concept of digitalization, and digital transformation. Digitization is converting analog information to digital formats, example, scanning paper documents. And then digitalization is using digital technologies to change business processes, example, online application forms. Then digital transformation is complete organizational rewiring, integrating technology into all operations and culture. And one thing we must know is that digital transformation is a continuous journey. It's not a destination. It's a continuous journey. We will keep updating, we keep improving, we keep enhancing. And another thing we need to know, if we must have digital transformation initiatives that will be adopted, then they have to be value driven. They have to focus on the value they are providing. Okay, they have to focus on value. If we take FCIP as a case study, FCIP 25 provides a comprehensive framework for civil service excellence. You have the core objectives of attainment of the new civil service of our dreams, enhance productivity and HR administration, improve staff competencies and skills, result-based performance and meritocratic environment, clear career path, value proposition, and digitally transform civil service. All of the things that we've listed from 1 to 6, if there is no digital transformation, it will almost be impossible to achieve them. Okay, it will always, so digital transformation is at the base, is a driver to achieving the provisions of FCIP. And like I said, we've already started having some of the processes being digitalized. We have the IPPIS, and was it yesterday or thereabout I gave that experience I had. Last year, I had the privilege of attending a course, and part of my classmates for that course was the administrator CEO of the Public Service Institute of Nigeria. Among the people that came with him was the head of learning and something, and then another person was the head of IT. And then in that training, they said that they have a portal that provides training opportunities, online training opportunities for public servants, but they don't make use of it. And I was shocked because that's actually the first time I was hearing it. They said the platform is loaded with courses and they can go learn and all of that. But me, I was surprised because that's the first time I was hearing about it. And that's why I said, sometimes we'll have a whole lot of programs, initiatives, projects that we've done that are supposed to benefit the public. But because we don't have strong communication and strong awareness frameworks, those programs just get to lie within the agency. So part of the thing the head of service is talking about, capacity building and talent management, is training and development, right? And now we're beginning to see online, using the online platforms for learning and development. Public Service Institute of Nigeria has already created a portal. IIPM and many others are there to support head of service in providing training. And most of these trainings are now digitalized. They are now digitalized. If you didn't have the basic understanding of how to use your phone to join or use your system to join, perhaps you will be missing out in this class. Okay, flowing gradually. So now we're having e-learning, we're having e-payments, we're having e-verifications. And I remember the director of human resources at NAPTIP during the human resource class, he mentioned when we are discussing performance management system, that is one of the top projects that they are on right now in the organization. So you see, these things are coming in gradually, and as they are coming, we also need to build that capacity to stay on top of the game. All right, we need to build that capacity to stay on top of the game. If you look at the 6 pillars of FCIP, you have capability building and talent management, which is almost 100% getting digitalized. Performance management system, IPPIS, HR and payroll management, innovation, digitalization of records and processes, staff welfare. All of these things are to be digitally driven. Okay. Now, what are the core components of digital transformation? Number one, there must be a clear strategy focused on business value. Remember that we are looking at strategic leadership and innovation management. And digital transformation is innovation driven. However, we must align our strategic capabilities with our innovative abilities so that we can be able to have digital innovation, digital transformation initiatives come to full completion. So strategy remains key. So we must have a clear strategy focus on business value. That we must have strong talent benchmark with in-house expertise. Remember that we kept saying that people you don't train, don't appraise. People you don't train, don't expect them to perform. So if digital transformation must work, then there must be sufficient expertise in-house. There must be sufficient training to equip the people, okay, to deliver. I also said something yesterday that without empowerment, don't expect the best of the people's ability. Without empowerment, in terms of training, in terms of resource mobilizations and all of that, without empowerment, don't expect the best of people's ability, because what actually gives, what provides evidence of people's ability is when they are empowered through training and they are provided resources to display to what they know. Number three, there must be scalable operating model. Yesterday, we looked at the RACI, okay, the execution framework using the RACI. So when you have the RACI, okay, and then we also looked at different frameworks like your McKinsey 7X, and today we looked at the ADCA, we looked at the quarters change model. When you look at those models, you can find the one that fits into what you want to do part-time and then use them. Then you have the distributed technology infrastructure, okay. Many of us work in ministries, work in departments and agencies that are across the nation. If we are going to adopt digital transformation, then we must have infrastructure that is available to all the state units or all the state commands and as many as it were, the units across the different states. Okay, and then there should be some level of independence. Okay. There was this particular body, a government body, that I was at their head office to do something, and they said the server was, no, I was at one of their offices to do something. So they said their server was down. They couldn't work. Okay. And then coincidentally, I know somebody, I have a colleague that works at their head office. So we had a meeting, and then she came out. I was like, you came back late today. He said, oh, today's work has been so wonderful. The server broke down. And I asked him a question. I said, your server from your state, from Abuja, does it serve all the whole state? And he said, yes. I said, wow, that's it. That needs to be upgraded on. When we begin to have independent servers, it will help, such that if your server is done in Abuja, it shouldn't affect the person in KB working. It shouldn't affect the person in Kwara working. It shouldn't affect the person in Enugu State working. It shouldn't affect the person in Lagos working. All right. So there should be distributed technology infrastructure. Then we'll have the accessible and reliable data. Okay. Then we'll have strong adoption and change management. Strong adoption and change management. The critical insight here is that no digital transformation can be successful without coordinated action across all these areas. Weakness in any single capability undermines the entire effort. There are 6 areas there. Weakness in one aspect, whether it is weakness in strategy, weakness in human resource available, in adoption. If there is any form of resistance from the people you're creating that for, people working with you, it could become a challenge. If there is weakness in the operating system, it could affect the entire process. So everything needs to be working very well for it to be able to thrive. Now, let's look at the 5 pillars of public sector digital transformation. The 5 pillars of public sector digital transformation. You have citizen-centric engagement. If you must get into digital transformation, your digital tools, your digital services must be citizen-centric. There must be social service delivery and outcomes that will improve efficiency, transparency, effectiveness of social programs. Okay. And then there must be fiscal transparency and accountability. And this is the one I'm calling out for. Fiscal transparency and accountability. Fiscal transparency and accountability. Then there must be operational efficiency, and then leveraging data as a strategic asset. Citizen-centric, social services delivery and outcome in terms of efficiency, transparency, and effectiveness. Then fiscal transparency and accountability, operational efficiency, and leveraging data as a strategic asset. Okay, I may have to skip through this, and quickly let's look at digital and IT strategy. What could be the difference between digital and IT strategy? You need both for your digital transformation, but we need to understand the difference between the two. Your IT strategy focuses on technology, infrastructure, systems, and tools your organization needs. But your digital strategy focuses on organizational transformation, citizen-centric services, and value creation through technology. So your digital strategy moves or encompasses everything around the digital world, from your service delivery, product delivery, engagement, feedbacks, satisfaction, and all of that. Okay. Now, what are the key components of an effective digital strategy? Please, you may have to screenshot this because you may need to look through it over and over again. Your key components of an effective digital strategy. I have a perception that there is someone here, there are one or two persons that may be having a meeting with their PAMSEC or the DG after this class on the need of digital transformation, or maybe someone as a director, as an AD, as a DD, may be called to present a report on the need of digital transformation initiatives. So you will need this strategy, you need this composition to be able to craft your proposals and craft your presentations very well. Okay, and should you find yourself in that shoe, then this slide will be of great importance and of great use to you. The first component is your vision and your mission. Remember that your vision and your mission is a derivative of the corporate strategy. Now, in the corporate strategy, there must be your departmental strategy or your departmental vision and mission. There must be ministry, departmental vision and mission, agency, or the case, and then the federal government have their own mission and vision. Whatever thing we are doing in terms of digital transformation has to align with the national strategy towards this mandate. And then you have issues of governance, citizen-centric design. Everything we are doing in the public sector has to be citizen-centric. For the private sector, it has to be customer-centric. So anytime you hear citizen-centric, you can replace it with customer-centric for the private sector. Then there must be a technology roadmap, a planned adoption of tools and platforms that will be used. In Nigeria, we still have many need of data centers. We have need of data centers. Most of the websites hosted in Nigeria today are hosted outside of Nigeria. So that means all of Nigerian records are actually available across other countries. So we are just as open as anything. Anybody can hack into those systems, and then okay, we are gone. All right. So we need to have our own indigenous data centers, indigenous data frameworks. NITDA is doing a great work. NICOMSAT is doing a great work. And then Galaxy Backbone is also supporting. So we need to have this roadmap in place. Then we have the data strategy for collection, management, and use of data for decision making. So we have the NDPRA or NDPRC, Nigerian Data Protection Regulatory Agency or Commission. I don't know whether they're a commission or agency, but we have the NDPA Act. That's Nigerian Data Protection Act. Okay, that is our data strategy as a nation. So anything you want to do around digital transformation, it is good you get a copy of the NDP Act, that's Nigerian Data Protection Act, because it will guide you on your digital transformation. Then you have the change management, which I've dealt with seriously. Data-driven leadership for public sector. What would be the impact? Why data-driven leadership matters? We'll have improved efficiency and reduce costs, enhance service delivery and accountability, detect fraud, leakages and operational bottlenecks, support evidence-based policymaking, and strengthen trust with citizens and stakeholders. In the Nigerian context, with the initiatives such as the IPPIS, BVN integration, NIMSININ, and the FIRS ETA system, data is increasingly central to governance, modernization, and public financial management. So it is important that we get to understand these things. What could be the importance of the data-driven leadership? There will be better decision-making, operational efficiency, financial integrity, enhanced transparency, and improved planning. Now, what is your role in this case? Your role will be to set expectation for data use, promote data quality and integrity, demand performance dashboards, and then make decisions traceable and measurable, and build culture of continuous improvement. These are the things you will demand from your own department, from your own agency, from your own units, from your own ministry. Okay, there should be data usage expectations. There should be data quality, promoting data quality. Okay, let me give you an example of data quality. I don't know whether it's still happening now, but I don't know whether we still have manual attendance in the public service. But those days that we used to have manual attendance, you could see somebody come to work, and then he or she will sign for his or her friend, maybe sign for 3 persons before you go. That quality, the data is already hampered. That cannot be considered as a quality data. Okay, that cannot be. If you're coming by 10 a.m., be proud that you're coming by 10 a.m. I right? 10 a.m. Okay, I was at the National Assembly some weeks ago. I was with the Permanent Secretary of Human Resources, and while we were discussing, when he was walking me, to see me off, when we were walking downstairs, I saw a system. I've seen that system at head of service, and I think I've seen it in 1 or 2 ministries. Then I saw it there. I now asked, what is this for? He said it's for clocking in. So when you come, you put your thumb, it dictates, and when you're going, you also dictate. I don't know whether it's available across all the ministries, departmental agencies, but that is innovative. So that system will provide data quality. If we now want to check data quality for attendance, we know exactly what the data is saying, not the one that has been doctored. Okay, so we have that responsibility of promoting data quality and integrity. Okay. Recently I had this case. This is a director. I know some of us might know those that I know. But the case I'm going to present, I'm sure nobody in this class is in that case, but you might know 1 or 2 persons who do such. Now, this case is a case of no, not a director, a PAMSEC. Before he became a PAMSEC, he was a director in human resource management, who in this era of IPPIS, he still had the guts to fill in people's name. Now, in that particular organization, the level he gave those ghost workers, they were collecting 350,000 naira per month. He will use the account number and their details to collect this money. The government will pay to those people, and then those people will pay him, will give him 300,000 and keep 50,000. Now, I want to check the payroll record. We cannot claim that data, the payroll data, is of quality because it has been hampered. But I'm sure there is nobody in this class who does that. Okay, if you have the capacity to give people job, why will you want to use? Why will you want to turn it the other way around? Okay, you give them job, or you are collecting the salary. Okay, and they are not officially. You can remove them any day or any time. Okay, those attitudes, they are not strategic leadership attitudes. Okay, now notice that I said yesterday that you can be strategic, but that doesn't mean you'll be successful. Okay, so this person doing this thing now, I want to ask, is it strategic or not? If it's strategic, just type yes, or just type 11. If it's not strategic, type 22. As a HR director who does that, uses people to get information, but he uses people as ghost workers to increase his financial base. But so is this person strategic? Is this HR director now, is it strategic? If it's strategic, just type 11. If it's not strategic, just type 22. Okay, so Dr. Paul says 22 is not strategic. Okay, so somebody says just mischievous. Okay, it's not strategic, but a fraud. Okay, but if you consider the definition of being strategic, okay, I remember I said you can be strategic in any of two ways. You can be positively strategic and you could be negatively strategic. Okay, and I gave example with the insecurity ravaging Nigeria. That what we are seeing today is the strategic impact of what started since 2003. Or is it 2003 or 2001? Okay, when we had that World Trade Bomb in US, that was when the infiltration started coming to Nigeria from 2001. Okay, the strategic impact of their plan is what we are reaping of today. So that director is strategic, but just that is negatively strategic. Okay, what is the strategic implication? The personal aggrandizement. He wants to increase his financial base, maybe make sure that his student doesn't have to lack anything, and all of that. And that's part of strategy, but it doesn't fit into the system that he finds himself. It doesn't fit into national development. So we consider it, he is strategically dubious. He is strategically mischievous. He is strategically fraudulent. He is strategically not supposed to be there. Okay? He's strategically not supposed to be there. Okay, so my time is up, but I'm going to ask for an extra 10 minutes just to meet up. Please bear with me. All right, so we have, each and every one of us have that responsibility to be strategically right. What makes the strategy right is there is an alignment with the bigger picture. Okay, what makes the strategy right is that there is an alignment with the bigger picture. All right, now digital literacy for public sector officers. As part of the things we do, we need to understand dashboards. We need to start paying attention to data analytics. We need to start understanding dashboards. Okay, dashboards commonly used in the MDAs. We have the payroll dashboards, budget utilization dashboards, like the GIFMIS. We have the tax revenue dashboards, health performance dashboards from the NHIS and the Nigerian Primary Health Care Development Agency now. They will have the service delivery dashboard like the CSE. Even in your own organization, in your own department, there is need for you to understand dashboard, because in your department there are targets set and there are different units allocated to different things. With time, I have the confidence that we can come out to a department and we'll say, this is the screen that shows us everything that is happening here. So this is what the HR department, or this is what the HR unit is achieving right now. And this is what monitoring and evaluation is achieving right now. This is what the internal unit. So we could have that without much of human interference. Okay, and that is possible with time. They will have the KPIs, the key performance indicators. Every one of us need to understand what KPI is. You know, there is this system of, I'm not the one that employed him, I'm not the one that employed her, so I'm not the one that will sack him, and I'm not the one that will sack her. Yes, you're not the one that employed him, you're not the one that employed her, but you have the responsibility to get the person better. Okay, as a director, all the people under you are considered people that you're leading. As an AD, there are people under you. As a DD, there are people under you. You cannot claim that you are not the one that employed them, so you're not the one that fired them. That is good, but you have a responsibility to get them better through effective leadership. And you have the responsibility and the authority back up to get those people on the better side. So we must have KPIs for everything everyone is doing. They also have performance metrics. There is need for performance metrics. Now, how data informs policy and operational decision making. Every one of us at this level should be part of, in a way or the other, is part of policy formulation. So in the digital transformation agenda, when it comes to your department, when it comes to your agency, when it comes to your ministry, you have a role to play in policy formulation for digital transformation. You have a role to play in operational decisions, that is towards developing standard operational procedures, manufacturing procedures, quality procedures, and the like. You have a role to play in that regard. You also have a role to play in resource allocation, because there are many of the things that will be needed that will have to pass through your office, and you need to approve or disapprove. So every one of us have a role to play in terms of policy and operational decisions for digital transformation in the public sector. Now, let me summarize with this case study of the IPPIS payroll analytics. The background is that the IPPIS was created to eliminate payroll fraud, harmonize employee records, and strengthen accountability. The data-driven insight enabled by IPPIS will have ghost worker dictation using automated cross-matching of personnel data with BVN and attendance log. They have the budget accuracy. MDAs can accurately forecast personnel costs using real-time analytics of exactly the number of data of staff available. Then headcount validation and payroll variance alerts. Payroll variance alerts. Okay, those people at IPPIS, they are doing a great work, but they need to do better. Because there is no way somebody will sit down somewhere and is using some people's details to collect what do you call it, financial benefit, and those people are not staff. And you tell me that IPPI is somebody within will not know. One of the problems with our systems in Nigeria is that we have high-level infiltrations. High-level infiltrations. Okay? And until we begin to fetch out those people that are dealing unlawfully with our highly validated systems, our systems might remain just there. They will have, on the other side, decision support for HR and finance. So the IPPIS provides decision support for HR and finance. And by impact, billions saved from eliminating ghost workers, improved payroll integrity nationwide, better planning of personnel budgets, and enhanced public financial management under the reform agenda. Leveraging AI automation and emerging technologies. We had a course on digital transformation and generative artificial intelligence, which was awesome. We're going to share that class to everyone. Feel free to go through it at your spare time. Learn more about those things, because there were many practical imperatives that we dealt with, which just by talking about them here might not give us the best preview of what we're talking about. So we will share those records, and then you can go ahead and learn them. Each of these courses will be packed into or packaged into classes, or into courses rather, and at your spare time you can always go through and watch. All right, so we have government worldwide transforming how they deliver services, interact with citizens, and manage resources using AI, automation, cloud technologies, Internet of Things, generative artificial intelligence. Okay, so they are not just trends, they are strategic enablers that help public sector institutions to improve service delivery, and all of those things we'll be mentioning since we started. In Nigeria, these technologies are already reshaping the operations of key MDAs, demonstrating that digital transformation is not theoretical, but practical and attainable. So here we have the different areas that these training technologies are applied. You have it applied in the AI-powered citizen engagements like the chatbots and the virtual assistance platforms. You have it in HR and finance automation like your IPPIS. And then we also have it in recruitment. We have many MDAs now using automated systems for their recruitment. You have it in predictive analytics for government decision making. You have it in risk detection and audit automation. And then on these emerging technologies, you have your cloud computing, Internet of Things, low code and no code platforms. And then you have the GenAI. I will make those records available according to their courses. And please, because of our time, we will not want to keep us longer. I will make those things available, and then you at your spare time can have the pleasure of time to walk through them. And the key takeaways for our discussion: public sector leaders must understand what technologies are relevant, how to integrate them strategically, what risks must be managed, how to prepare the workforce, and how to ensure alignment with national frameworks such as the FC and the NDPA. Digital transformation leadership requires the ability to identify opportunities, prioritize high impact technologies, and drive adoption across organizations. Thank you so much for your time. And one more time, I want to apologize for that glitch we had. I believe would have been done if not for that technical glitch. Thank you for your understanding, and thank you for giving us the time to run through this section. Okay, do I have any question, comment, or contributions before we shut down? So in the next 2 minutes or 1 minute, we'll be shutting down. Thank you so much for the appreciations. In the next 1 minute, we will be shutting down. But before we shut down, let's do this one more time. For all of us on the YouTube platform, please make sure you like and drop your comment. So all of us will go to YouTube, and you're going to drop a comment of what your experience had been today. Just in one word, you will like, you will comment, and then you will subscribe to the channel. So we have about 30 persons here. Okay, so can we all get to YouTube right now? Yeah, I see some comments. Throw more light on Internet of Things. Okay, Dr. Raf, tomorrow we have more time, but I think at this juncture, I would really love to have everyone go to have a break. And of course, these materials, when they get to us, we can always read through. But I will definitely, if I remember this question tomorrow, I think I have one session tomorrow in the afternoon. If I remember the question, we'll talk about it within the time so that we don't keep us here. All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Raf, for your understanding. But I'm not throwing that question aside. I'm definitely going to come back to it tomorrow. All right. Okay, so let's all get to YouTube. Everyone, please, let's get to YouTube. Like this section, drop your comment of how this experience has been. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. All right. And with that, you can easily know, even when classes come up, just by subscribing, you will know that class is on. Okay. And then you can always get access to the recorded sections. In a moment, I'm going to share the attendance. Please feel free to drop your attendance. Okay, as part of digital transformation, we notice now that even the attendance is done digitally. So all you need to do is to click on the link, and it will open up and you fill it. Okay, if it asks you to sign in, then it expects you to sign in using the your Google Mail. Okay, Google Mail. All right, it expects you to sign in using your Google Mail. All right. Okay. Are we all on the YouTube dropping our comments and liking the section? I'm seeing 6 people on YouTube. So I've dropped the attendance. Please feel free to take your attendance. And please, let's all get to the YouTube. Okay, so somebody's asking for more explanation on 5 pillars of public sector due to that. Okay, so this is now maybe why we need to just go back and watch the video. But I would sincerely call that we go for a refreshment, okay? Because we've been sitting on this course since 10 a.m. So it's time we just take a break, okay? Just take a break. Now, anytime a link is sent, don't just say the link is not opening, because actually the link is opening. As a digitally informed person, all you need to do now is to find how it has to open. Maybe your device is not appreciating the link, or you may need to copy it and paste it in a browser. But at this point, as a digitally informed person and a digital transformer, every link that is sent to you, find a way to make it work. All right. All right. That would be great. So with that, you will begin to master some of these things in a bit. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We look forward to seeing us tomorrow by 10 a.m. Nigerian time. Please be reminded that while this course is 100% free, the certification is available upon request, and we'll make those information available in the chat room. Okay, so that interested persons can start engaging. All right. See you tomorrow by 10 a.m. God bless you, really good. Have a wonderful time. Enjoy your wife, enjoy your husband, enjoy your children. For the ones that have grandchildren already, enjoy your grandchildren. God bless you. See you tomorrow.